All right, today on the bench, out of a 2009 Land Rover LR3 with a 4.4, this also is four-wheel drive, we have the ZF6HP26. All right, this has 168,000 miles on the clock. And the problem, I think we're dealing with a couple of problems with this transmission. All right, we do have some codes present when we did scan the TCM. All right, we got three codes present for the transmission. The first one is a P0730, and that's just pretty much a general gear ratio error code. Okay, and then we have a P0735, which is gear ratio error in fifth, and we have a P0736, which is a gear ratio error in sixth. All right, so what we're dealing with here, the two complaints that we're dealing with, and we felt both complaints. One is a flare on the 4-5 shift, which we felt. I think that pretty much happens more when it's hot. And when it's cold and you put this car in drive or reverse, there actually is a delay. And it happened to us, and a car actually went into limp mode when we put it into reverse and tried to back up. All right, but that possibly could be the P0730 code, but the 735, 736 is gear ratio error in fifth and sixth. So the first problem of the flare on the 4-5, you know, you're dealing with your typical E-clutch problem more than likely. Bushing, I'm thinking worn bushings. We're going to see what it looks like when we break the unit down tomorrow morning. So we're dealing with something with the E-drum. The common thing is, especially when it happens when it gets hot, is a worn rear stator bushing. Okay, now the other problem, what I'm thinking is going on here. So again, this is a Land Rover unit, and you know these come with the plastic pan. And a lot of people, to save on labor, swap it out to a regular filter and a metal pan. All right, when you saw the video of the pins being fixed on the Megatronic unit, I had a kit here. I still have the kit here. That guy has not come in yet, but I'm going to show you this tomorrow because I think this is causing the delay in drive and in reverse, and like I said, it actually went into failsafe. So this has the metal pan, and this has the filter. Of course, it's an aftermarket filter, and it's an aftermarket pan with a gasket. All right, I actually called the owner of the car, and you know, I guess he when he had the transmission service, that's what he did, which is fine because a lot of people do that. But I had taken the pan down because I wanted to, you know, just save a little time. I want to get the transmission drained, and so it doesn't make a mess when we take the pan down again. And the funny thing is, I took the pan off, and then the filter was kind of just sitting there. I picked the filter up and just pulled it off, you know, like it wasn't in anywhere, like the filter was out. And I'm going to show this to you. So what I did to see what's going on, so when you have to set the filter onto the pump, and there's the seal on it, and you have to push it in. But the seal, of course, stayed in the pump. It's the orange seal. So instead of taking the filter and pushing the filter down all the way, I took the filter and laid it right on top of like the orange seal. So now the filter's on top of the valve body. It's not pushed in, but it's laying on top. All right, and I took the pan and I put it on, and the pan fit flush. So that means the filter has the capability of moving down, maybe hitting the pan and the snout coming out of the seal. All right, that's what I think was causing this problem, because he would say every morning. And I think what was going on is the thing was sucking air. Because I'm going to show you, like I said. So I don't particularly care for what I saw. So I called him, and I'm putting this back to the original way. So the plastic pan is going to go back. Again, a lot of people do this. to save some labor, and I've never done it here. I know other shops that did it, and nobody really complained about it. I never heard anything of anything coming back, but this one, I don't like this one. It's just the fact that the filter's not even in the seal and the pan is fitting flat does not sit well with me. So I'm taking that setup out and putting the original one back. All right, so I believe those will address the two problems. Of course, we're doing an overhaul. I got a bunch of the parts already. Actually, I'm going to put you guys on hold for a minute, and I'm going to run and get what I have so far. I don't have fluid yet. That's coming from out of state. I don't have the solenoids yet because I just got to get the colors of the solenoids. But I have, the overhaul kit. I have the pan. I have some clutches and some other ones I'm going to get in a couple of days by UPS. But let me just go get this stuff now so I can show it to you now, and then tomorrow morning, because I want to get into tearing this transmission down. I'm very short on time tomorrow because I do have a training seminar, so I'm going to come in, I'm going to tear the transmission down, and then I'll have to go to my class. So just give me a few minutes. I'm going to be back in a minute with the parts. Okay, so this is what I got so far for this transmission. All right, here is my Durabond bushing kit. All right, so we're going to be doing all the bushings. Durabond bushing kit, which is what I like. This. All right, so we have, these are the exity frictions, which is all I would use as exity. These are the A and the D clutches. Okay, all he had locally was one. This is B and C exity. Exity begins with a J on the part number with Transtar. So I got to get probably, I don't know, 10 more of these, 9 more of these. So this is B and C. There's the exity right there. Okay, here is my pan. Again, I am putting, going back to the original way, my OE pan. And I didn't even open this yet. And here is my ZF overhaul kit. Let's take a look-see at this. All right, here's my little chart there that they give you. Also in that they give you a sleeve and a bridge seal. I got the sealing sleeves and the new drain and fill plugs. Also in this kit you get new pump bolts. You also get washers, but you get new pump bolts with washers, front seal, rings. This is the good stuff here. Straight up ZF, right out of Germany. So that's what I got for this so far. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about tomorrow with the filter, which I think is causing the problem in the morning. Because I remember I had a ZF 8HP70 that I did a video on in a Jeep, like one of those SRTs. And in the morning, the thing, you put it in drive and reverse, and it didn't move that great. It actually moved better when it got warmed up. But that filter, that was an aftermarket pan filter, and it was cracked. So that was the deal with that. So I think we're dealing with something similar to that with this probably sucking air, because again, it did go in a failsafe for us when we put it in reverse. We kind of just pulled up a little bit, put it in reverse, and it really delayed. We gave it some gas, and boom, it was in fail-safe. So I'll show you what I'm talking about with that filter, and then we'll see what we see with the, you know, we'll chunk everything down. We'll see what we see with the E-drum, clutches, bushing, you know, something. I'm thinking bushing is probably worn out, causing the flare on the 4-5 shift. Pretty good flare, we felt it. All right, so at this point, I will catch up with you guys tomorrow morning, and we will continue and tear this transmission down. All right, back with you this morning. So let's start by taking the valve body out, take the pan down, and again, I'm going to show you what I see for a possible problem in the morning with this trans. All right, so I got most of the bolts out already. Okay, let me just fix here. So this is the aftermarket pan and filter. Okay, so I'm going to take the filter out. See, it's in the seal, and it's only going to come out like that before. Okay, and then what I want to do is I'm just going to kind of set it in here, right on top. I'm going to put the pan back on. And as you can see, the pan is on flush. The pan is not rocking back and forth or anything like that. So this filter does have the capability of falling out. And the filter now, come right out. So I'm not putting that setup back. So it's very possible this filter, like I said, when I first took the pan down, just to kind of drain it and see, you know, I can see anything. And when I picked the filter up, you know, this is kind of how it was, like this. But if I push it into the seal, you know, you got to use a little force to get the filter up, and I didn't have to do that before. And with it just laying on here and putting the pan on again, the thing sits perfect, perfectly flat. Filter. So that setup is done. I'm not using that. I called the owner of the car and let him know what I found as far as that goes, and he said, fine, put back what it calls for, which is going to be the plastic pan. Okay. All right, so we'll get the tab up. Well, the tab is up. Okay. Straight this morning. Help it along a little bit. tight in here. Okay, let me try to get it from the bottom here. Okay. Alright, so this should be all the way up. Okay. Let me just some corrosion or something in here. Got a new one anyway, it's going to be changed. Alright, now the valve body. Okay. I got a piece of the bridge seal here. Alright, valve body. Okay. Alright, bridge seal. Let's get this out of pump. There is the seal for the filter. Alright, get these sleeves out of here. Alright, now we're going to get our pump bolts. Those are T27. I did crack everything loose, like I said, just to kind of save a little time. Okay. I'll give a little tiny A drum there and right out. Okay. Now pushing definitely looks worn out to me. Okay. So we got the A from there. Okay, take the B drum. Alright, now I'm going to get the snap ring out and take the center support out, which is the C and the D clutch. Alright, gonna work this snap ring around here. Fairly easy. There we go. Alright, now let's get the center support out. Alright, here we go. D. Not too bad, but got a batter kit, and that's what's getting put in. Alright, a ring gear. Okay, got a race here. And you got a shim here. Alright, I'm going to clean this up, all this corrosion and crap. Clean all that up. Alright, so the case is stripped. Alright, so just give me a few minutes. I'm going to get rid of the case. Get rid of the oil, and we can start taking a look at the clutches and the pump on this and finish it up. Alright, so I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so I'll start with the front section, take a look at the A and the E clutch. Okay, not too bad, it came right up. I'm going to do bushings in here. The clutch hub doesn't really look that bad. Clutches are probably a little worn out. Yeah, these are. You can see that, that's pretty worn out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's check out the thickness of this. You got two different E frictions if you're ever ordering parts. So these are 63. There's 63 and I believe there's 77. So these measure up at 60, so they're probably about 63. They're just worn out. So if you ever ordering parts for that, they may ask you what the thickness is of the E clutch. Okay. Check out the A. Alright, these aren't too big. You still see writing on them, but got a lot of miles on them. Alright, so let's get this planetary out of here. And you pretty much just got to push on the snap ring. I got this, I use this now, this pretty sharp scribe here that I can get in there. Alright, so I got one side up. Go. Alright, so before I take this apart again, I'll take a Dremel and just kind of make sure everything's lined up. So when it goes back together, the planet will snap right in. Okay, take a look at the B clutch. This is the A. Get rid of this. Okay, the B clutch. And when you do the bushings, don't forget you got the lip here, so you have to knock it down so that sits flat and it doesn't sit on the bushing. Okay, not bad at all. Now we have the C, and here are these go in here to keep the center support from turning, like the locks. Sometimes they get stuck on there, sometimes they come right off. I don't really wash the center support up in the tank, so if it stays on here, I'll just leave it. That. All right, so we have a bearing race here. Okay, not bad at all. And here you gotta kind of look how this goes together. This is a little tricky. You know, this thing you gotta pop off here. And this has a split ring, so you got to push down on the Belleville spring, take the split ring out. There's another split ring that holds this in, but you got to set everything up correctly. You know, how this top piece goes in, has to face a certain way, the ring's got to face a certain way. So you can always take a picture of it and make sure it goes back correctly. All right, and once that's done, this will snap right in like that. Planet, you got a race here. That's going to go right on there, and then the D clutch piston, you know, will sit on here. Okay. All right, so the pump got a shim here. Yeah, this bushing looks like it's worn out on one side here. And plus this flare didn't happen until it got hot, so that's usually a classic sign of a bushing problem. I'll give you a shot of the converter too. Ericsson's actually had one in stock, so they're UPSing me that one, and then I'll just send him the core back. Alright, so the T30, let's see how easy these will come out. Maybe I don't have to use the shocker. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to. I don't want to take a chance. Alright, so let me get set up for that, and I'll do the last couple with you guys. I'll be back in a few. Alright, so I got about 3 left. So let's do those together. Sorry, I guess they were 2. 2 or 3. Oh, here it is. Okay. Now we'll tap these down. Okay, this looks good here. Transmission actually is in pretty good shape. Okay, this looks good. The pocket looks good. Gears look good. Gears look real good. Ready? Valve body, you have your typical solenoids. You have the 3 yellow, 3 blue, and 1 black. And just by looking at this, this is your Gen 1 transmission. So when I open the valve body, it should have 6 dampers back here. You can tell by Gen 1 just by looking at that. Alright, and I think that is about it. One more thing with this planet. You got a bearing here. I showed you this here. Okay. And this is where your output speed sensor reads. Input speed sensor reads the A drum. And that is it. So, pretty much just doing a, let me get you guys the torque converter. I'll give you a shot, show you what that looks like. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. A very quick shot of the torque converter. There is a code here that they may ask for, 206503. But when I called, I get my converters from Ericsson's when I do these ZFs, and he wanted the Stukel number on the side of the transmission. That's the one that begins with the 1068. And then he was able to tell which one I need, and there's the back of the converter here. This plate is riveted on. So he said he has one in stock, so we shipping that out, and then I just go ahead and put the core in the box, put the new sticker on it, the shipping label, and ship it back to him. Okay, so once again, 09 Land Rover LR3 4.4, ZF6HP26. So the 2 problems were a delay in drive and reverse only in the morning, which I am saying was caused by that filter not being all the way in, because when I did initially take the pan down and take the filter out, it just kind of flopped right out. I didn't have to pull on it like I had to pull it out of the seal. And also the other problem was the flare on the 4-5 shift hot, and that looks like it's going to be the rear stator bushing is worn out. Alright, so you saw the parts I have. I'm just waiting for the E clutch, also the B and C. I just have one of those. I got to order the valve body plate, the code on that. The code on that is a B052. I know you really can't see it, but it's an A052 B052. And that's about it. You know, with the mileage on this thing, I may elect to put one of those shift kits in there real quick. Couple of valves, they give you the dampers. Solenoids I actually didn't even order yet because I didn't know at the time that I was ordering the parts what color the solenoids were, but they're typical 3 yellow, 3 blue, 1 black. So I can get all my parts on order and get this thing done and get them back on the road. Alright, so I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you next one.